you surprised to hear this decision by Virat Kohli within few hours, having decided to step down as the Indian Test captain?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. In fact, I thought it might actually come yesterday at the presentation. But then if it had come at the presentation, then it would have looked as if it's been done in a moment of, a peak or anger. So I'm not surprised that it has come up after 24 hours or after an overnight situation. So I'm not surprised that this decision has come.
Think could be, I know this is the question best answered by Virat Kohli, but you say that you're not surprised. Do you expected this primarily because of this heartbreaking series loss, or do you think what had transpired before there's all the controversy, you think all of this may have been weighing very heavy on Virat Kohli's mind?
No, I think the realization was there that with the loss over here, that he could be removed as the captain of the Test team as well. So I think it was a decision, to preempt that. So this is what I think. I could be totally off the mark, but this is what I think happened.
Right. So anyway, valid point you make. He may have preempted that what might have happened, and he may have been removed as Test captain. I'm just going to talk to you on cricketing merit. Do you think that once this series loss in South Africa, and considering that Indian team has been doing very, very well, do you think that it would have been prudent, or would any captain be removed after this 2-1 series loss to South Africa, considering how the team has been performing otherwise across the world or even at home?
It's happened before. It has happened before to lots of Indian captains. They've had a series loss, and particularly in overseas Test series loss, and they've been removed from captaincy. So even here now, because here India was expected to win 3-0 actually, not just win by 1 or 2 matches. They were expected to sweep the series, and the way they started in the first game. In fact, it was on day 1 of the Centurion that the series was won. The Test was won. After that, I think India were really never in the thing. South Africa became very competitive from day 3 of the Centurion Test. The day 2, as you know, was washed out because of rain. Where I think South Africa reset their radar and decided to look, they'd bowled wide, they'd bowled too short, and they concentrated on the stumps. And the results were seen after that where the Indians struggled to put runs on board in the remaining 5 innings.
How do you see this decision of Virat's to step down from captaincy from an Indian cricket point of view? We're in the middle of a World Test Championship cycle. You'd also be aspiring to play the finals there. Do you think he had reached the end as far as all that he could contribute, as far as him being a captain, and it was the right time for a transition? Or do you think maybe that transition would have still taken a few more months? Had he continued, then you could have allowed someone like a KL Rahul to be groomed. Just in terms of pure cricketing logic, how do you see this decision having come at the time that it has?
Well, no question that in case India had won the series, then the transition period would have been taken. But because India lost the series, and India lost 2-1, it's not that India lost 1-0. And after being in a position where they'd taken the first innings lead both times, to lose the Test matches did mean that there would have been no real time for transition. I think that the selection committee would have been looking for a change. I don't know. I'm just saying, having been in this position of being a captain of India, having been in a position where the series has been lost overseas, I know what a captain feels. I know what the selection committee feels. Of course, we're talking of a completely different generation. There's a generation gap, and maybe there's a different change of mindset, change of thinking. That all I agree, but this is generally what happens.
So as you said, that it's happened before. Captains have lost despite doing very, very well, but one-off series, they've had to let go of their captaincy. But the other thing that's happened before as well, there is nothing permanent. Like, we're discussing here that, this is it, that Virat could contribute as a Test captain. But we know that it's happened in the past that once a captain is taken or that role has been taken away from him, there have been times that they've been reinstated as captain, maybe a year later, maybe 2 years later. But do you see that happening in this scenario, considering Virat to step down himself, and then because you're going to be looking forward, this is the last of Virat Kohli, the Test captain that we've seen, or any captain for that matter?
Yes, I think so. If he had been just dropped as the captain, there was always a possibility after a series, after a year or two, for him to come back. Like players make a comeback as players, individual players in the test teams, one-day teams, T20 teams. Once they regain form, they come back. But once you resign yourself, then that's a little bit difficult for him to come back as the captain.